Hi guys and welcome. Today it's another Dior video and this one is going to be on Coral Riviera. The other day I put up a video using the Quint, the pink Riviera one, and I didn't buy the bronzer with the pink in it, and I haven't bought any of the lip maximizers yet. But for today's video I've got the Coral Riviera Quint, I've also got the Luminizer, and I've also got the bronzer as well. And I am wearing one of the nail polishes from this collection. This is the one Coral Pop, and it is a really beautiful coral, and it's got this gold reflex. It's quite subtle, but it's actually really beautiful. And this is just with one coat on, and I find that it's been lasting really well too. So for my foundation today, I'm going to wear a Dior, a matte one. So since it's a matte foundation, I'm going to put this primer on underneath. This is the Forever Glow, the Star Filter, and I'm pretty sure that this one is in the shade 2. This gives a really beautiful glow, which with my oily skin can be a little bit too much, especially for something like that new Dior foundation that's just been put out a little while ago, the Hydra Glow, which I did review, and that one's more suited to me when the weather eventually cools down here. It's still going to be, it's raining today, it's quite stormy outside as well, but the temperature's still really warm. I don't know when it's going to cool down, and normally by this time in autumn for us here in New Zealand, I have some type of heating going in the evening and haven't had to use any yet. But the Star Filter that I've just put on goes beautifully with my oily skin underneath a matte type or soft matte foundation. So this is the Dior Forever one, and this isn't a flat matte. This is what I describe as being a soft matte. So I've just done one pump, and I'll just do the left side of my face first. I wore this quite a bit, especially when the weather, when it was a lot warmer than it is now. It's still warm, but in the middle of summer, during those humid days, this foundation lasts really well. But I like it that it keeps my oils at bay, but it isn't a flat matte, and it isn't what I would say is full coverage either. I would say it has a strong medium coverage, but it's really flattering on my mature skin. It doesn't settle into lines, and it just gives this really beautiful coverage. So Dior have just released also in the US, and I think in Europe as well, it's the Canmake Collection, and they're the 4 different Quints, and they just look so beautiful. They haven't been released here yet in New Zealand, but when they are, I think I'm going to be picking up the whole 4 of them. They just look really beautiful. So that just looks really pretty, especially with that Glow Star Filter underneath. Really gorgeous. I'm going to use the Dior Forever Concealer. I mentioned in my other video, this is the shade 2WP. I really like this concealer. I have about 4 or 5 concealers, the ones that I tend to rotate through. I have a lot of concealers in my collection, but this is one of them that I do reach for with my everyday makeup. I find it has really good coverage, and it also doesn't settle into my lines, and it has really beautiful skincare ingredients in it, and I find those type of concealers are the best, especially when you've got mature skin. So to save time off camera, I have put eyeshadow primer on. I have powdered under my eyes. I have to wear eyeshadow primer because I have oily skin, so I also have oily lids. I've also done my eyebrows and also powdered my face as well. So now let's take a look at the Dior Forever Nude Bronze Glow. This is the one in coral bronze. There was also the one in pink bronze as well. I initially just picked up this one. A couple of days later, I went to go and get the pink one, and it had sold out. So we'll take a look at this now. I haven't tried it yet, and to be honest, I think it looks a little bit scary. And it has about 3 or 4 different formulas in it, matte, satin, and also a bit of shimmer as well. And on the Dior website, it says just to use it basically as a bronzer. So that's what I'm going to do today. But I think because of the gold embossing, it could make it look just that little bit too shimmery. Now, of course, the packaging on these is just absolutely beautiful. It has fabric type of feeling to it, and it has that beautiful Dior pattern on it. It's just really beautiful. Here's a close-up of the gorgeous packaging, and this is what the bronzer looks like inside. It is really stunning and really seductive, and I can see why these have been so popular. I'm just not too sure how it's going to look when I put it on. And I'll also swatch on my hand last year's bronzer that came out. I got the pink and the coral. This is the coral one. Now I love these, and I also love the pink one as well. Now, just like with the pink Riviera Quint that I tried the other day, the gold embossing, this is an overspray, so this is going to come off fairly quickly. You've got gold overspray up top, down below, and over the top of the lettering as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swatch through the whole lot and show it to you like that. So this is the one that I'm going to try today, and this is last year's one. So they do look quite different, and actually the one that I'm going to use today, once I've swatched it on, it doesn't actually look that scary. I think it's actually going to look quite pretty on. And now that I've swatched this, you can see the gold overspray up top, and just down here where I've swiped through to swatch, how it is gone, and also over the lettering as well. Although you still can see that really beautiful pattern in there, though I think that's quite superficial as well. I think once you used it quite a bit, that would go. So just so you know that this is really beautiful, and it was beautiful, but it's going to go very, very quickly. Now, because I'm not too sure about this, I'm going to use a super soft brush. I'm not even sure which brand this is. I think it's one of the Eyeshadow brushes, and it is super soft. It's really more as a powder brush, but I'd like to use it for this bronzer because I just want to go fairly easy with it, and I am going to use it as a bronzer. So it does pick up quite a bit on the brush, so I want to go very carefully. So I'm just going to tap a little bit off on my hand as well, so it does have great pickup, and we'll just very carefully put this on. Now this is going to have a sheen to it, and you can see the sheen on it. Now that's that gold coming through, because I've still got some gold in this palette, and that will go after a while, but there is quite a lot of pickup and quite a lot of pigment goes on, especially since I'm just using just this really, really soft brush. But it says to use it just like a bronzer, so that's what I'm going to do. But with the gold in it, I think this is just, for me, I just think this is just a little bit too much. But I don't think it, I'm not sure if it emphasizes my texture or not. It definitely gives this really beautiful summer bronze look. And because I'm going to be using the Luminizer as well, I think I'm going to be very, very glowy. So that is what it's like all on, and there is quite a bit. And for me, and I'm looking in the monitor, it really it really just looks just too much. It's because I think that gold's in there, and perhaps when you initially use this, you could use it more as a little bit of a highlight instead of a bronze all over. Like I said, it gives this beautiful summer bronze look, but for me, it really just is, it's just a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm letting you see it, what it's like. I'm going to go over with my foundation brush, and I'm just going to tap over it a bit, just to calm it all down again. So now that I've gone over with the brush that I use for my foundation, it's definitely just calmed it all down a bit, and now it actually looks really pretty. So if you've tried this and thought, like me, it's just too golden, then you can still use it and just grab whatever you use to put your foundation on and just tap over it. I think it calms it down, and now I think that it does look really beautiful. But that gold on there, the overspray, isn't going to last forever. It's going to go quite quickly, and once you do, you're going to have this really beautiful shade. So the shade itself, I think, is gorgeous. It's just initially with that gold, I just thought it was just a little bit too much. So now let's take a look at the Quint Coral Riviera. And again, you've got that really beautiful embossing on there. I'll try and stay away from the gold as much as I can because it's not going to last, and I think it's better to show you a look what it's going to look like and what you've got left once that overspray has gone. But I think this is absolutely gorgeous. The pink one had that really bright pop of pink in there, and it actually looked better on than I thought it was going to, but this was definitely my first choice for the Quint. I think this is going to look gorgeous. So I will swatch this. I'll swatch it from left to right, top to bottom, and swatch the middle shade last. But before it's all ruined, I'll hold it up close so you can take a good look at it. It does look just absolutely stunning. So here is the Quint swatched, and starting up here, like I said, left to right, top to bottom, and the middle shade last. Now keep in mind that I have got some of that, the gold overspray in there, and when I put it on, I'll try and use in the eyeshadow Quint parts that haven't got that gold in there. But I think this looks really beautiful. I think this is going to give a really gorgeous eye look. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to use all 5 of the shades. I think I'll definitely be using at least 4. So I'm going to start off with this shade here, and I'm going to put that through the crease. And the pattern on this one, the gold actually goes over the shadow quite a bit. It does pick up a lot of pigment, so I'm just going to tap the excess off on the back of my hand, because I don't know about you, but I can't stand it when people really tap their brushes on the eyeshadow palette. One, it's not good for your brushes, especially if they're natural hair, but I don't know, I just don't like the sound of it. So this is a really lovely shade. It's actually a really good transition shade. Just picking up a little bit more, so through the crease and up onto the brow bone as well. So this shade is very pretty. It's a brown with some orange in there, and it's almost like, it's like a burnt orange. It's really pretty. So I'm just going to stay with that shade, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line as well. Now I'm going to go into this middle shade here. I'm going to stay with the same brush. I have wiped it down. And I'm going to put that in the crease as well. And I'm also going to put this shade all over my lid. This is such a pretty shade. I'm just going over again. I'm just going to put a little bit more up onto the brow bone. That really is just giving such a beautiful summer look. Now I'm going to go into the deeper shade. I'm just using a Sonia G brush, and I am going to put this in the outer corner. So I actually want a little bit more pigment, so I've grabbed the Rapha number 12. It's quite a dense brush, just same with the shade, just so I can pack in just a little bit more pigment, and then I will blend it out. Then I'll just go back to the Sonia G brush and just blend that out just to soften it all. And brown and corals, oranges always look just so beautiful together, and this doesn't disappoint. It looks really, really pretty. Then I'm just going back to the smaller brush. I'm staying with that dark shade, and I'm going to run this under my lower lash line. Then we'll take the Rapha number 2, and I'm going to go into the shade here, and I'm going to put that over the rest of my lid, just through here, just to lighten it up. And that looks really beautiful over this shade, really gorgeous. Even just those 2 shades together, if you didn't want to have anything deep on your eye, I think they would look really gorgeous. Now just wipe down this brush. I'm going to stay with that shade, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner, and also just a little bit on my lower lash line as well. So now that I have the eyeliner and mascara on, I think this eye look is really beautiful. I really like corals and browns anyway. I think they go beautifully together, but I found this blended really well, and it also has a fair amount of pigment. You could go more subtle if you wanted to, and I did try and stay away from that gold overspray in there. There is a little bit in here, but I think this will give you a good look at what this eyeshadow is going to be like once that overspray has worn off. But I think the look is really pretty and the color story is just gorgeous. So now let's take a look at the Forever Glow Luminizer. This is the one in Coral Glow, and in the holiday collection last year they also released a coral as well, although they are completely different looking. I'll hold up the other one and swatch it for you as well. But again, you've got this really beautiful packaging again, that fabric type material, and the really gorgeous iconic Dior motif. And I just think this looks really gorgeous. I think the Luminizer has been quite popular, and I can see why. Now, I haven't tried this yet. I will swatch it on my hand. And I think this will also work as a blush. So I'll just be using this as a blush today. And this is the holiday one from last year. This is Coral Lumiere, so they are quite different, but I will swatch this one as well. So here you've got the Coral Glow, the one I'm going to use today, and here is the holiday one, the Coral Lumiere, which is actually, it's more gold than coral, but I think the shade looks really pretty. So as I was saying, I'm just going to be using this as a blush today. Of course, you can just use it as a illuminator if you want, or as a highlight, but I also think it'll work really well as a blush. I am going to take my Eyeshadow brush and just go in fairly carefully and see what this looks like. But I do think it's going to look really, really pretty on, and this is going to give that really beautiful, gorgeous coral glow. And I just think that looks really pretty. Now it has got a glow, and it's definitely a luminizer, but I don't think it emphasizes my texture. And I don't mind it in a product when it says it's a luminizer. It was just that bronzer that I started with. And for a bronzer, I just don't think you really need this type of look with a bronzer all around, although putting the foundation over the top of the bronzer certainly helped. But this shade, it is just, that is just gorgeous, and I think it works just beautifully as a blush. Of course, it'll look really beautiful just as a highlight as well, but for that really beautiful summer look, I think this looks really gorgeous. It also blends really beautifully, and I picked up quite a bit, even though just using a soft brush, it picks up quite a bit, and it also diffuses out really beautifully as well. And I didn't pick up any of the maximizers in this collection. I may pick up one or two at a later date because they are still available. So on my lips today, I'm going to put on a lip liner all over, Dior one, and I am going to use a maximizer. This is the one Coral Mania, and this was from the previous collection, and I think this over top of this liner is going to look really pretty. So for my fragrance today, I've put on the Miss Dior, the Blooming Bouquet, and it's in the solid fragrance. I have two of these, one in another perfume as well, and I think these are really beautiful. And just pull out and they twist up, so you've got the solid fragrance there, and twist back down again. And usually I just put it on my pulse points. You could also pop it behind your ears as well. I just think these are super gorgeous and also great to carry in your handbag as well. So here is the finished look, and I do think that it's just so pretty. This is really, it's like a summer sunset. It just looks warm and really, really beautiful. So what do I think of this collection? I think it looks absolutely stunning. The embossing on it and the overspray is really pretty. There's no doubt about it. It's just that with the overspray, it is temporary, and you may use the overspray to begin with and absolutely love the look that you get, but after a while that's going to be gone and you're just going to have what's underneath. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the bronzer. So out of the whole collection, this is probably the most disappointing in the fact that with the gold to begin with, I just thought it was far too much. But once I went over with the foundation brush, what was left over from putting on my foundation, it toned it all down. And the shade that is left is actually really, really nice. So once all this gold is gone, then this is one that I definitely use again. It's not just going to sit in my collection. I think the shade is really lovely, but I don't like that gold overspray over the top. They say on the website that it's to be used as a bronzer. So really you do just have to swirl it all together, but you get a look. I suppose for some people they might quite like it. It is, you've got that gold in there, and it's definitely a summer glistening bronze look, but it's not a bronzer then I don't think you could wear all year round. But underneath, once that overspray is gone, I think it is really lovely because you're still left with the pop of coral through here and down through here as well. And of course the packaging is just really, really beautiful. The eyeshadow Quint is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I knew when I saw this collection that this was going to be my favorite out of the two, and it definitely is. This is just beautiful, and I love it as well. You've got a deeper brown here, so you get that depth in an eye look. But I also think that just this shade here and this one popped over the top would look really beautiful just on its own as well. If you still wanted that beautiful summer look but just wanted it a little bit softer without adding the depth, then I think that would look really gorgeous. But again, you've got that gold embossing on the top, and when you first use it, you may really love the look that you've got, but of course once you've used it a few times, that gold overspray, I think I called it embossing, that gold overspray is going to be gone, and you're not going to be able to get that look again. So that's why today I try to do the look not using much of that gold. I probably got a little bit in there, but I think I used most of it without using that overspray. So this is one of the looks that you can get once that overspray is gone, and I just think it is really, really beautiful. And of course we've got this absolutely beautiful luminizer, and I can see why it's been so popular. I think it looks absolutely beautiful on and is a really gorgeous shade. The other piece that I like from this collection, and I may pick up another one to have a backup, and that is the nail polish, the one in Coral Pop. It has a little bit of gold in there as well. It's really beautiful. I think I said at the beginning, this is just one coat on. It really is quite opaque, and I find that it lasts really well. So overall, a really beautiful collection. It really just comes down to personal preference. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.